Good morning. Thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem, editor of wnzk.com, a digital business magazine serving the Arab American communities in Michigan. We provide business and real estate news, loan and lending information, support to small businesses, and much more. Visit us at wnzk.com. Thank you for being with us. The number here is 248-557-3300. Give us a call should you have a question or a comment in Arabic or in English. Today is Friday, August 19th, 2022. It's a beautiful morning, and the temperature is in the low 60s and could reach in the mid 80s today. It's sunny and it's beautiful. Enjoy it. It's a great day. We wish you the best of health, wealth, and happiness. Summer is almost over, and it's time to go back to school. These yellow buses, you're going to see them very soon around the corner. So what do we need to know? What is going on? With us this morning is David Mustonen. He's Community Communications Director with the Dearborn Schools. Good morning, and thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Khalil. It is a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning.
It is. Thanks again for taking the time to be with us. So are we ready for the new school year, and what do we need to know?
We are absolutely ready for a new school year. We're very, very excited. I think for us in the school community, two of the most fun times of the year for us is at the end of the school year when we celebrate all the graduations and all of those kinds of activities. But when we get to the start of a new school year, there just is an anticipation that builds up and an excitement that builds up here. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and the prep to get ready for the start of the new school year pretty much starts when the other school year ends. And we pretty much are working all summer long on that, but it really ramps up here within the last couple of weeks. And we're excited about starting on August 29th. Is our first day of school for students. It will be a half day on that day. And then students will have a few days of school. Then we'll have that long Labor Day weekend, and then we'll return after that as well. So, but that first week is important because that is the first week that we get the students back into the classrooms and get back into those routines and get all that learning started once again.
Absolutely. My neighbor always asked me, why do we have to go to school now, then take a break, then go back, that first a few days.
Yeah, well, the state requires us to have a certain number of hours and a certain number of days in the school year, 180 days. And in order to get all of those days in, along with all of the breaks that we also have along the way, we need to start we need to start a little bit earlier. And those first 4 days, like I said, are important 4 days in getting the students back into the routines and getting that learning started throughout, for the rest of the school year. So that's and also too, because we don't want to be going to school any later in June than we have to. So starting a little bit earlier before Labor Day is a good way for us to get that done.
Absolutely. There's a lot to prepare. I mean, students return on the 29th, but I'm sure you've been busy for a month or so. When do teachers come back to start preparing?
Right. Well, our non-instructional staff and our administrators, all of our principals have been back this week and getting the schools ready and getting things ready. And matter of fact, later on today, all of our administrators, principals, supervisors, directors will have our general administrators meeting actually in about a half hour from now, where we really kind of come together and get those final plans in place. Our teachers, that is the incredible thing about our teachers is technically they don't start until next week with a few days of professional development that we have planned for them before the students come back. But I'm going to tell you right now, teachers are already back in their classrooms on their own time, working hard to get their classrooms into shape. It is one of the reasons why we value and appreciate all of those hardworking teachers in our classrooms. They do so much behind the scenes before school even starts that parents and students never see to get those classrooms in shape. And we appreciate that very, very much.
Absolutely. In the past few years, we've gone through a lot. We've had COVID, we've had some economic issues. And so has that have we gone over that? There are new guidelines from the CDC for students who could test positive. Could you help us understand those, or if there's anything new that we need to know?
Well, I think the most important thing that we want people to learn and know about when it comes to COVID is that first with the mask, that's always a big question that comes up. Masks are optional. If there are those who feel more comfortable wearing a mask, or they may have other health conditions, or those at home that have health conditions, we totally respect that. And so if there are those who feel more comfortable wearing a mask, please, we encourage them to do so, but it is optional. There are no mask requirements. As far as quarantining and what we are doing with COVID, yes, some guidelines have changed from the CDC. We are waiting for Wayne County Health, because sometimes the state and the county kind of adjust those, or they don't follow exactly what the CDC is prescribing, because local conditions can sometimes be different. So
Sure.
right now, we are doing what we have done throughout the pandemic, and that is work directly with the healthcare professionals, those at Wayne County Health, and following their guidance. We have all of that up on our website still, so I do encourage people to visit www.dearbornschools.org. Just scroll down on the main page a little bit. There's a COVID link right there. It'll provide you with all the information that parents need to know about what to do if someone does get COVID, because the restrictions are a lot less, and things are changing, and they're very, very fluid and dynamic.
Absolutely. I was, excuse me, I was reading the other day that a good number of teachers have retired, and there may be a need for more teachers. Are you well staffed? Do you need more teachers? What's the situation there?
Yeah, well, I think we are in very, very good shape to start the school year. However, it's not just instructional staff. It's not just teachers. It's non-instructional staff. Bus aides is a big demand, high demand job right now that we're looking for. Bus drivers, custodial staff. And there is still a need for teachers, especially those in some of our specialty areas, special ed, high school math and science, and those areas as well. It is very real. The teacher shortage throughout the state, throughout the country, is a very real thing. And so, all districts are working really hard to fill those gaps. Like I said, I think we're in good shape, but we are always looking for those highly qualified people who want to work for a great district. We have great pay, great benefits. Working in the Dearborn Public Schools is more than just a job. You're working in an environment where you are helping children learn, and you are part of that learning success. No matter what your job is here in the district, you are part of the success of the students. It's more than just a job. It's much bigger. It's being a part of this community.
Absolutely. We've had some unfortunate incidents in the past, last year. Anything new on safety at the district and at the schools?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with COVID and the economy and inflation and everything that's been going on, it's a shame, but we do almost forget that less than a year ago, we had a horrific and tragic incident occur in Oxford, Michigan, not far from here, from all of us here in Dearborn, and we still, think about that. So, we're very fortunate here in Dearborn. We have an outstanding relationship with the Dearborn Police. We always have. Chief Shaheen has carried on that tradition. He and the superintendent talk all the time. He has made a very, very strong commitment to ensuring the safety of our schools. We have the school resource officers in our district, the SROs. We've had them in our district for a long time. We continue to have them. What is great about the SRO program is that these officers are in our school. They're building relationships with students, with staff. And that's really the key. You want to build relationships so that you can prevent these horrible things from happening before they ever happen. And that's what's critical. And that's really the strength of the SRO program. We will be doing some training, some of that training that our teachers are taking part in on those first few days will involve emergency management training, and then also some ALICE training. And then throughout the year, we will actually have officers going to the schools, working with staff one-on-one to work with them on their school emergency plans, and also to provide them with a little bit more detail when it comes to ALICE training, which, you know, is a big training program that many school districts use to handle these crisis situations.
Absolutely. Are there going to be any improvements, capital improvements at any of the schools?
Well, all summer long, there have been many projects going on throughout the district. I think one of the more visible ones that you may have seen, if you were driving down Ford Road, you could see a new roof going on to Fortson High School on the front.
Sure.
It's a big job because it's a slate roof, and we want to maintain the historical integrity of that school. But, you know, and that helps us. If once you seal that outside, then you can start to work on the inside and work on, you know, some of those problems that have been going on the inside. So that was one of the bigger projects. We've been installing freezers, new walk-in freezers throughout the district to help with our food service department. A lot of improvements as far as some air conditioning going in at some schools, in parts of some schools, not entire schools, but in parts of some schools. Along with things like parking lots and other capital improvements throughout the district. So yes, a lot going on in the summer, a lot will continue to go on throughout the school year.
Yeah, and let me tell you, during the pandemic, I did pick up some of the food from the school, and it's, you know, I wish that quality can improve. It's a lot of sugar in there. You know, well, kids get them and you can't control them, you know, after that. So
right. Yeah. You know, and what we were handing out, you know, what we handed out during the pandemic was all the food that is approved by the FDA, and we follow all of their guidelines in the food that is done. And it is good because those are some very strict guidelines as far as the nutritional aspect of what the food can handle. What happens though is sometimes that you know, it takes away from the creativity of what we can offer. I will say that our food service management company, SFE, who is part of our district and helps in the management side of things, it's all our own people who run the food service, but SFE provides some management support. They're going to be offering some new menu items this year for our students. So we're looking forward to that, and improving those choices and improving, like you said, more quality, higher quality food for everybody.
Absolutely. You know, I've received a few emails from the district asking us to, as parents, to participate in various you know, boards and activities, and I thought it was very refreshing that you're reaching out to all the parents to be involved. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, absolutely. You know, it is imperative that we have stakeholder input on many of the different things going on in the district, whether it be, you know, a few years back when we were looking at the possibility of putting a bond proposal on the ballot, which we are not doing at this time, but we needed that parental input and the community input to help develop those plans. Curriculum is another big area that, and an area and a topic that's being talked about quite a bit. Not just here in Dearborn, but across the state. And it is imperative that we get parental input and our community input on the curriculum that we develop here in the district. So, you know, when we send those surveys out, we are appreciative when people respond, because that really helps guide us. I know our Board of Education really appreciates that input as well.
Absolutely. Is there anything I haven't asked you that people need to know?
No, I think, you know, like I said, we're in good shape. We're getting ready for the start of the school year. I would just remind parents and everything that although the school year starts in a week or so, start getting your kids back in those routines now, especially the sleep routines. Sure. I know in the summertime with our own kids, we were a little bit looser on those timelines and let people enjoy and have fun. But, let's, if we can start now getting the kids back into those routines, maybe those sleep patterns, it really goes a long way in helping them get back into the routines once school starts. So there's a little bit of advice right there. Please make sure you're checking your school website and blog, because your schools post a lot of information on there. They also send emails to parents and things like that. And we encourage parents, if you have not filled out your emergency form, your emergency card with all that contact information, to log into MyStar and to do that right now too. That's another just thing that you can get done now, get out of the way.
Absolutely.
One less thing to worry about.
Absolutely. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Thank you for all you do. And thank you for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing everybody when the school year starts.
Thank you.
Thanks.